Hey everybody, this is Scott Strang from Endurance Scout. Today I want to chat about something that I've been thinking about quite a bit lately, and that's digital marketing for endurance events, and our collective need as an industry to step up our game to this new digital marketing frontier. So you know better than I do as race directors that it's becoming more and more difficult to run a race. Participation numbers are down across the US, and the number of races that are popping up are up across the board. The New York Times did a really interesting article about the rise of local 5Ks and the competitiveness between races, stacking similar races on the same weekend. I know here in Seattle, for an athlete, it's difficult to find a race because there's so many races every single weekend. And number two is the shift of attention globally into this new digital economy. So no longer can races market the way that they used to. I know I get a magazine every month of all of the races in Washington State. I don't look at it. How many of your athletes are looking at it if you're really, really honest with yourself? I can guarantee you no one out of my generation in their 20s or 30s is reading every single race to figure out which one they want to do. We're on our phones, we're scrolling through our news feeds of Facebook and Instagram. We're not looking at a magazine or any of the traditional media that people used to find races at. We're not going into shoe stores to ask about what races are coming next month. It's just not the reality of the situation. The good news is there's never been a better time to be a marketer or a race director if you're using the modern day tools effectively. So let's take a step back and think about what you need to market and sell anything, whether that's a yacht to rich people or use tennis balls to dog owners. You need two things. You need distribution, meaning you need to be able to approach and contact the people who are most likely to purchase your product or service. And then number two, you need the creative. So you need to be able to tell a story of why that person should buy your product or service. So in this case, you need to be able to find local endurance athletes and then tell a story about why your race is better than the 5 other races that are happening the exact same weekend within the same 30-mile radius. So the nice thing is you don't have to take my word for it. There's already races doing this. The two that come to mind for me are the Rock and Roll series and the Hot Chocolate series. They've both done a phenomenal job over the previous couple years of promoting their races within this new digital landscape. They're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on Pinterest. Not only are they posting there periodically, but they're actively engaging with their community. And more importantly, they're getting their communities and the community of endurance athletes to participate and to share on behalf of them because they put on such a good production and because they're so active in this new digital landscape. So my ask to you is that you take this and you start getting competitive with all the races around you. Doesn't necessarily have to be you competing with Rock and Roll, because a lot of the time a small 5K or a triathlon or whatnot, you're not competing with Rock and Roll, but you are competing with the other 5 small races that are happening within a month of you, within 30 miles of you. So it's time to get competitive and step up your game. So the rebuttal that I get quite a bit is, but Scott, where do I even start? There's all of this website optimization and search engine management and Facebook ads, and what is a Facebook pixel, and should I be using Twitter or Snapchat? Like, where do I start? Well, there's a couple ways that you can approach this. Number one is I'm going to be producing hopefully a lot of content that is race director specific of what you can be doing, actionable marketing that you can do. Number two is this crazy website. It blows my mind. Google. Literally just Google, how do I run a targeted Facebook ad? Spend 5 hours on it, and you're going to know more than 90% of the population. Number three is you hire someone. I'm creating a company based around this thesis that race directors and races aren't doing enough in this landscape, and that the races that I help bring up to this modern digital marketing scheme are going to outgrow their competitors. So you can hire someone. The cheapest option is to put in the hard work yourself, go on Google. The next cheapest option is to watch this series and continue learning. And the third option is to hire someone else to do it for you. So I guess what I hope that you get out of this mini rant of mine is a call to action of like, we as an industry have got to step up our game. All of these methods of digital marketing are proven. The biggest brands in the world are using them, all the way down to small boutique companies that have grown into large companies. The attention is there. All of these social networks have created phenomenal ad products and products that you can find your very, very specific niche of local athletes. You just have to tell your story on those platforms, and the racers are going to come to you. So I implore you, please join this digital marketing revolution, whether it's through me or on your own. Please step up your game. Cheers, guys.